Jugala Kishore, Radha Krishna Pranamo, Jugala Kishore. Jivane marane gati aur nahi more. Jivane marane gati aur nahi more. Jivane marane gati Kalindira kule keli Kadambaravan Kalindira kulikeli Kadambaravan Ratana bedira upar Bosha Bodujan Ratana bedira upar Bosha Bodujan Shama Gori Angadiba Chandanaragand Shama Gori Angadiba Chandanaragand Chamara Dulabo Kabe Heri Mukhachandra Chamara Dulabo Kabe Heri Mukhachandra Gati Amala Tirmala Vibodo Hargale Satyamala Tirmala Debodo Hargale Adhare Tuliya Debo Karpura Tambuli Adhare Tuliya Debo Karpura Tambuli Lalita Vishaka Adi Jata Shaki Brinda Lalita Vishaka Adi Jata Shaki Brinda Nagyaya Koriba Seva Sharanaravinda Agyaya Koriba Seva Sharanaravinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasaranudas Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasaranudas Seva Abhilasa Kare Narotamadas Seva Abhilasa Kore Narotamadas Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Bonachari. Yamuna Tira Bonachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shamchanda, Radha Shamchanda Sri Radhe. Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvrajagacharya Astatara Sadashi Shimad Apai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Navnacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Shri Shri Radhesham Sundar Ki Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, verse number 8? 30. Oh, here it shows. Oh, 30, okay. Ata adyantikam kshemam Prichamo bhavatong aga Sangsaresmin kshanardopi Satsanga sevadirninam Ata adyantikam shemam Prichamo bhavatonaga Sangsarismin kshanardopi Satsanga sevadirninam
Ata adyantikam shema
Ladies. Anyone else? Okay, so Ata, therefore, Adyantikam, supreme, Shemam, good, Prichama, I am asking, Bhavata, from you, Anaga, O sinless ones, Sangsare, in the cycle of birth and death, Asmin, this Kshana Arda, lasting only half of one moment, Api, even, Satsanga, the association of devotees of the Lord, Sevadi, a great treasure, Nrinam, for human beings. So this is King Videha speaking to the 9 Yogendras, who are the sons of Rishabdev, who had 100 sons, but these are 9 of them. The eldest was Bharat, after whom Bharatvarsha is named. Therefore, O completely sinless ones, I asked you to kindly tell me what the supreme good is. After all, even half a moment's association with pure devotees within this world of birth and death is a priceless treasure for any man. Purport: the word Sevadi, or a great treasure, is significant in this verse. Just as an ordinary man is overjoyed to discover an unexpected treasure, one who is actually intelligent is overjoyed to gain the association of a pure devotee of the Lord, by which one's life can easily be perfected. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the words Atyantikam Shemam, or the supreme good, indicate that situation in which one cannot be touched by even the slightest fear. Now we are entangled in the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death, samsara, because our entire situation can be devastated in a single moment. We are constantly in fear. But the pure devotees of the Lord can teach us the practical way to free ourselves from material existence and thus to abolish all types of fear. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, normal etiquette would dictate that a host immediately ask a guest who has arrived about his well-being. But such an inquiry is unsuitable to place before self-satisfied devotees of the Lord, who are themselves the bestowers of all well-being. According to Srila Vishwanath, the king knew that it would be useless to ask the sages about their business affairs, since the only business of the pure devotees of the Lord is the achievement of the supreme goal of life. According to Bhagavad Gita, the goal of life is to free oneself from the cycle of birth and death and reinstate oneself as an eternal servant of God on the platform of spiritual bliss. Pure devotees of the Lord do not waste their time with ordinary mundane affairs. Sometimes foolish relatives of a Vaishnava preacher lament that such a transcendental preacher has not used his life for material business, and that so much money has therefore been lost by the practice of spiritual life. Such ignorant persons cannot imagine the unlimited prosperity available on the spiritual platform to those who have surrendered heart and soul to the mission of the Lord. King Nimi was himself a learned Vaishnava, and therefore he did not foolishly ask the sages about ordinary worldly activities. He immediately inquired about Atyantikam Shemam, the highest, most perfect goal of life. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the word anagha, O sinless ones, has 2 meanings. Anagha indicates that the 9 Yogendras were themselves completely free from all sins. It also indicates that merely by the great fortune of seeing them and hearing from them submissively, as an ordinary sinful man could also be freed of his sins and achieve everything he desired. One might object that since the great sages had just arrived, the king should not have been so impatient as to inquire from them about the perfection of life. Perhaps the king should have waited until the sages themselves invited his inquiry. Such a hypothetical objection is answered by the words kshanardo pi. Even a single moment's association with pure devotees, or even half a moment's association, is sufficient to give one perfection of life. What's the verse? From Chaitanya Charitamrita. In this connection, even a half a moment's association is sufficient to give one perfection of life. Yes, correct. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastri Koi, Labhamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. All the scriptures say that even a moment's association with the pure devotee of the Lord can give one perfection of life. An ordinary person who is offered a great treasure will immediately desire to claim such a treasure. Similarly, King Nemi was thinking, why should I consider myself fortunate enough to have such great sages stay here for a long time? Because I am an ordinary person, undoubtedly you will soon be leaving. Therefore, let me immediately take advantage of your holy association. He didn't waste time. Went straight to the point. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, in this world there are different varieties of mercy, but ordinary mercy cannot bring about the cessation of all unhappiness. In other words, there are many humanitarians, altruists, and social reformers who certainly work for the betterment of humanity. Such persons are universally considered merciful, but in spite of their mercy, humanity continues to suffer in the grip of birth, old age, disease, and death. I may distribute free food to the needy, but even after eating my merciful gift, the recipient will again become hungry, or he will suffer in some other way. In other words, by mere humanitarianism or altruism, people do not actually become free from unhappiness. Their unhappiness is merely postponed or altered. King Nemi was joyful upon seeing the Navya because he knew that they were eternally perfect associates of the Supreme Lord. Therefore he thought, you are not prone to sinful activities like unfortunate mundane people such as me. Thus the words you speak carry no deception or exploitation. The materially conditioned souls spend their days and nights discussing various topics of sense gratification. They never find time to hear about transcendental knowledge. But if even only briefly or accidentally they hear Krishna Katha, topics of Krishna and the association of pure devotees of the Lord, their propensity to suffer in material existence will slacken. When one sees liberated person, hears about Krishna from them, remembers their saintly behavior and so on, one's tendency to bind himself to the illusion of sense gratification is diminished, and he becomes eager to serve the Supreme Lord. Therefore, I'm reading the verse again, O completely sinless ones, I ask you to kindly tell me what the supreme good is. After all, even half a moment's association with pure devotees within this world of birth and death is a priceless treasure for any man. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once told a story about an astrologer called Sarvagya. So a poor man came to Sarvagya to have his fortune read, and Lord Sarvagya said, when you were young, you left home. You left home, and while you were away, your father died, and he left you a great treasure. But, you weren't able to get it, being far away. So the man was very eager. How can I get it? How can I get it? Well, he said, don't dig on the southern side or you'll be stung by a poisonous wasp. And don't look on the western side or you'll be attacked by a ghost or a yaksha. And don't look on the northern side or you'll be swallowed by a great snake. But if you look on the eastern side, you find the treasure. So Lord Chaitanya explained, what is that poisonous wasp on the southern side? What is that? Do you know what Lord Chaitanya said? Nobody knows? Huh? It is the process of karma kanda activities, fruitive activities, and ghost or yaksha on the western side. What's that? Yeah, jnana. On a jnana yoga, and attempting to merge into Brahman. And great snake on the northern side. That's the process of mystic yoga. And the eastern side? Yeah, bhakti. Bhakti. So by bhakti, one can get the greatest treasure of life, which is Krishna prema and full Krishna consciousness, because by such consciousness one can go to the spiritual world and he doesn't have to take birth again in the material world. So he can solve all his problems. Just like somebody wins the lottery, he thinks he can, solve all his problems, but then he just squanders the money or whatever, and the problems are still there. You cannot solve the problems of material life by material means, because it's like a forest fire. It just keeps spreading. You don't know where it started, and it just keeps spreading. So that's why we sing that samsara davanala lila loka tranaya karna ganatvam. That the guru or the great sadhus, they're like clouds that come and shower water. That's the only way the forest fire is extinguished generally. Of course they have quite well-developed fire services in this country, but still there sometimes in the summer raging forest fires. You subjected here in Adelaide also? Yeah. I remember going up to New Gokul once, and the fire was burning on each side of the road, and even the flames were jumping right across the highway. When we went to New Gokula, and the fire was raging all around in the forest, and it came very close. I remember myself and Ramai Maharaj were there at the time. We were trying to, put some kind of sandbags, soaked in water to try to, prevent the fire from reaching the buildings, and it didn't reach the buildings. But that's the nature of material life is like a forest fire. It's very hard to extinguish. And by these other means we can't extinguish it. Like Krishnadas Kaviraj, he quotes the verse, Harinama, Harinam, Harinamiva Kevalam Kalona Steva Nisteva Nisteva Gatiranyata. And he says, that's a verse. Chant the holy names, chant the holy names, chant the holy names. There is no other way, no other way, no other way in Kali Yuga to attain perfection of life. So he says that chant the holy names is repeated 3 times for emphasis, and in no other way, no other way, no other way means not by karma, not by jnana, and not by mystic yoga. You see, only by chanting the holy names. Etan nirvidyamana namichatam akato bayam yoginam ripanirnitam harinam anukirtanam. Sukadev Goswami said to Parikshit Maharaj, O king, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including for those who are full of material desires, those who are free from material desires, and those who are self-satisfied by dint of yogic processes. So the processes themselves won't enable one to attain perfection. That's why he's saying that they should better chant the holy names of the Lord. Okay, somebody's a karmi, somebody's a jnani, somebody's a mystic yogi, but better anyway chant the holy names, because those other processes will not enable one to develop the necessary Krishna consciousness for going back to the spiritual world. The bhakti process is a preparatory process for going to the spiritual world, because what are living entities in the spiritual world doing? They're all engaged in serving the Lord in different ways, different capacities. So we need training here in this world first. So in order to be able to fit in there in the spiritual world, you have to be trained to remember Krishna, to chant Krishna's name, to engage in different kinds of varieties of service to Krishna. Just like we have the puja, but it's a complex process. Making the clothes for the deities and the garlands for the deities and their mukuts, crowns, and cooking for them and making offerings, so many offerings every day. I went with Srila Prabhupada once to an installation ceremony of Radha and Krishna in the house of a Grihastha devotee in London. This is in 1972. That devotee was called Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Any of you know him? Kshirodakshai Vishnu? He actually helped a lot in the early days of Vrindavan. If you read Prabhupada's early letters, when he's just getting the land and starting, Kshirodakshai also helped him. Anyway, he was an Indian devotee. He had a family there in London. I think his son, maybe one or two of his sons, also initiated by Prabhupada. Karanadakshai Vishnu. It's one of them. Anyway, Prabhupada went there and installed Radha Krishna, and he told them every day 6 offerings, 6 artics. It's in a high standard. How many do you have here? Same? Yeah, Melbourne, they told me even 7. They have 7. This takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy to many persons. Generally, in temples before installing Radha Krishna, Prabhupada insists they have to have certain number of pujaris. Otherwise, how will he manage? His wife was doing it all herself, I guess. And I had 4 children as well. That was, Not easy, but must be her husband helped her part of the time, or his sons help, or other friends help. Their home became a little kind of center in that area. But there's a lot of scope for service in the worship of the deity. What to speak of all other kinds of activities that ISKCON is doing, like preaching, programs, books distribution, Harinam, Sankirtan. Are you able to have it here in this Harinam? Now and again? Actually quite nice here. The shopping mall, right? Quite a nice walking street in Adelaide. And so many other aspects of prasadam distribution, of course. To cook large quantities of prasad in a big effort. A lot of people needed, and collecting donations to finance it all. This beautiful temple here. Congratulate you all on the construction of this wonderful temple room. Adelaide Temple has a long history. You might not all be so aware of it, but as a person who had to come here regularly trying to, settle down conflicting parties, it was quite strenuous, so many ups and downs. It's nice to see, things very settled, and you've been able to progress, and this is a symptom, I guess, of progress and cooperation, that you've been able to extend the temple. I heard you bought a building next door also. Is it true? What do you use that for?
Accommodation.
For Grihastha devotees, or students? You just rent it out, you mean? And it brings income for the temple. Okay, that's usual in India. The deity owns properties, and properties are rented out, and it brings in an income for supporting the deity. So this is nice, very nice. So yeah, but I mean, the process of bhakti requires lots of cooperation, and there's a lot of service for a lot of devotees. And in a sense, it's unlimited. You can go on expanding it more and more. Have you got any other temples here in Adelaide as yet? No? No. Sometimes there's a bit of tussle when devotees are some devotees are trying to, expand and open some new temple, and management of the present temple may not be so enthusiastic. I saw the same thing in Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, all, where there's a second temple established or being established, and I guess there's a competition for resources, for donations among the congregation. But anyway, we have to expand somehow or other. Delhi, I believe, has 18 temples now. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he did a tremendous service there. And then, they're not just small temples, but there's some very big ones. And also in Bombay, quite a few temples, and in Dhaka, in Bangladesh, there's quite a few temples there, So, anyway, that's the idea. Expand the Krishna consciousness movement. Every town and village, Lord Chaitanya said, So this opportunity for devotional service, and we should do our best to cooperate, even though, we're troubled by false ego and various kinds of attachments. But we have to struggle with that and overcome by good sadhana and a good attitude, good service attitude, and good cooperative attitude. So anyway, we're fortunate. We have the shelter of great acharyas in our sampradaya, and of course especially Prabhupada in the modern age has spread Krishna consciousness all over the world and written so many books as a basis for our spiritual practice, as a guideline. So he did say, your love for me will be shown by how much you cooperate after my departure. So we have the opportunity, and well, we're very happy to see cooperation here amongst the devotees in Adelaide, and therefore there's progress in developing the Sankirtan movement, and devotees also can progress nicely in their individual spiritual lives if the situation is peaceful and can cooperate. Periodically in different places there may be differences arise among devotees, but that's not generally very helpful. Or maybe in philosophical discussion there might be some, different points of view expressed, but not that it, degenerates to, open fighting and arguing and maybe going to the press about it or something. We don't like to see that. We like to see that there's a submissive and cooperative attitude amongst the devotees. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any question or comment? Yeah.
In the purport, Prabhu, it says that even a moment's association with the devotee. So sometimes I see that devotees, when they meet their spiritual master, they take initiation, even a moment. After that, I don't have to worry so much. I'm guaranteed to go back to God. Is that the way it works?
No.
A moment's association. Even a moment's association.
A moment's association can put you on the path, on the correct path, but then you have to be vigilant and you have to follow the path, not wandering off this way and that way. Diksha is just, is just an event in a person's life. They accept a spiritual master, but they have to follow the instructions. If they don't follow the instructions, then they'll get into difficulty. So the moment's association, that can give the seed of bhakti. That is a verse. Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij Malihau Kore E Bijaropan Shravana Kirtana Jolly Korea Sechan. So, living entities, Prabhupada translated, they're wandering throughout the universe, sometimes in higher position, sometimes in lower position. But one who is fortunate, by the grace of Guru and Krishna, he gets the Bhakti Lata Bij, he gets the seed of bhakti. But that's just a start. Then, Mali Haukar, he should become a Mali, a gardener, and plant the seed in his heart and water it by the hearing and chanting process. Then it will begin to sprout more and more. And then he has to fence it around like a gardener puts a small, wire fence around a new sapling, a new plant, because wind may blow over it, so that that protects it, or some dog may come and pass urine, or some animal may come and eat it, or birds or whatever. So they protect the plants. Was it I think in New Govardhan, they bought another big property very close by, and there are many avocado trees there, and I saw they had some coverings around those fruits, otherwise the birds come and eat them. Or was it macadamias? I can't remember. Maybe it was macadamia trees. So yeah, the gardener has to protect, and also weeds may grow, and they might strangle the creeper. So weeds like desire for name and fame, or offenses to other Vaishnavas. These weeds can strangle the creeper of devotion. But if the devotee is vigilant, follows the process, then the creeper will grow stronger and stronger, and eventually it will grow into the spiritual world and take shelter at the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So it's an ongoing process. All right, thank you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.